Hi, it's Geoff here from discoverdouble-bass.com. That's the home of online double bass lessons. If you'd like more like this one, please go and check out the website after this video. Today I'm going to be talking you through some of the most common problems that I see with walking bass lines. I've taught a lot of students over the years and these issues have come up time and time again. So I'm going to move through them quickly and hopefully there'll be something in there that might help you with your playing. Let's get into that now. Well, one of the most common problems that I see is not connecting the notes, and particularly the last note of the bar. So if you're playing 4 notes per bar, it tends to be the last one. Let me just give you an example. So what tends to happen is you're thinking about the next chord. So and there's a bit of a gap between beats 4 and then the beat that starts the next bar. So you want the notes to be really well connected and not like this. Hang on. So not hesitating at the end of the bar, and it's because you're generally preoccupied with what's coming next. So learning the chord progression by memory will really help that. You can of course keep the notes shorter. You could play if stylistically that was correct, but the main thing that you want to be able to do is to control the notes, so you make that choice. And generally I would say try and connect them, and particularly make sure that you're not falling down on the last beat of each bar. Now the next problem that I see is that you've maybe learned the chord progression but you're not making sense by playing lines that work melodically. So if you play a line, it's really a phrase, it's really nice to hear that repeated throughout the progression. So and now move on to another one. You can see that I'm not repeating it consistently. I'm not banging you on the head with it. I'm not playing. Because it just becomes too much. But what I'm doing is I'm introducing a phrase, I'm then developing it, I'm then playing a slightly different version of it. Basically, when you hear a phrase, your kind of ear wants to hear that develop, and it's our job to play with that kind of expectation in an interesting way. So yeah, try and make sure that your phrases work melodically and they're not just kind of abstract notes moving through the chord progression. The next one is a really quick one. I'm sure you've heard it before. Make sure you're outlining the harmony of the piece you play, and that means to be thinking predominantly about arpeggios that underlie everything that you do. I mean, of course you can use scales, chromatic notes, you know, surround notes, leading notes, whatever, but you have to have a really good understanding. If you're a guitar player, understanding of the harmony. If you're a guitar player, you'd have to know what the notes of the chords were for you to play them. Same on the piano, it's the same with the bass. The arpeggio, the chord tone, is the chord that's being played, but we do it one note at a time. So make sure that you can master that first. If I just quickly play something just using arpeggios, and that was just moving through the first 8 bars of Autumn Leaves, but every note there was an arpeggio, I think. Pretty sure it was. And even when I was playing fills, so for instance that's A minor 7 flat 5 to D dominant 7 up to the G minor. It sounds interesting because I'm not playing them the same way each time. I'm kind of moving around the fingerboard, but it's key that you're able to outline the harmony. You should be able to hear the tune go by, and so should the other musicians in the band that you're improvising with. The next one is one that I'm sure that you've heard a lot, and that's playing the arpeggios or the scale, whatever you're working on, always or predominantly ascending and not using the descending version as much. And it's great in some music, for instance rock and roll. It kind of works because you're having these repeated phrases. But what you should be able to do when you're playing walking bass lines is move down as easily as you can move up. So really smoothing out the lines and mixing it up. Now back up again. So yeah, really work on those. Descending lines. And your bass lines will sound a lot more creative than they will do if you play everything ascending. It's really common to make sure that you're not doing that. The next problem is that I sometimes hear people accenting beats 2 and 4 rather than feeling the pulse on 2 and 4. So what you want to be feeling is a 1, 2, 3, 4, a 1, 2, 3, 4. So set your metronome on beats 2 and 4. But if you listen to what I'm playing, I'm not accenting that note. That's actually quite even. It would sound like this if I did it. Hang on. So you get so caught up in thinking about where 2 and 4 is in the bar that you end up accenting it. And it's a really strange line that you end up with. So you want to be tapping your foot on 2 and 4. You want to be feeling the pulse on 2 and 4, but you don't want to actually be accenting it as a matter of course in your bass lines. I really hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, click on that like button and let me know. And if you'd like a step-by-step method of creating bass lines that takes you right from the start to advanced level playing, you can check out my course on creating walking bass lines. I'll provide a link below this video. Keep practicing hard and I'll see you in the next lesson.